I ain't going anywhere, biatch. We got time. Well, I'm probably streaming until about 1-ish. Bronze coaching Tristana. Where the fuck is the replay? Here we go. Okay. If you want it, obviously it's yours. If not gonna complain. My workload's huge. I appreciate the donation regardless. Turret Sticks is added again. Open Nexus has a set and fizz with him. What does he do? Goes for top tower. He noob, he feed. What the fuck? Starbucks app. OP. Alright. On Daylight, thanks for the 4 months. Love you, dude. My list is backwards. Let's get some Tristana. Tristana seems like she's in a decent spot right now. Maybe not top tier, but certainly not like ass tier. People still play her.
30 seconds until minions spawn. A summoner has reconnected.
What's the role you could carry easiest in this meta? Probably ADC. ADC is strong right now.
Minions have spawned.
Low elo really doesn't matter though. Any role has its strong points. Okay. What up YouTube? It's NEACE. Time for some more coaching. Tristana coaching. Took E first. You're bronze, so I'm going to be making sure you're doing the little things right. Let's go back into the beginning of this lane. Looks like... Did they leash for the Zinzo? No, Jinx did not leash. So there's not much you can do about that. This guy's pushing the lane early. Good shit there. Good pressure. As I tell everybody that gets coaching from me, the newbies especially, I'm always looking for the level 2 rush. Here, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt because the ADC that you're facing is actually pushing back into you. And there's not much you're going to be doing into that early on. What in the fuck is that? Alright. This is a bronze replay. And that was a bronze jump. That made no sense to me. Okay. Notice. Whew. It's alright. I'm flaming you. And you know, and chat's flaming you. And I don't want you to think that making an aggressive move is something that you should hate. And that you should not, and you should be discouraged from doing. All we're doing is looking at it and figuring out why it's so shitty, okay? We're going to talk about what you did wrong here and why it's bad, okay? First things first, you're not engaging, well, technically you're not going to do any damage with your jump. To be fair, the jump landing on top of Jinx and actually hitting the jump would have dealt more damage. But this isn't the type of engage that we're really looking for. Basically what I'm saying is, you have minions pushing to you, and it's very, you know, you're jumping into AD carry and Taric at the same time here, and it's just not. You're just missing the damage on your jump primarily. It's not the worst thing in the world to try to fight here, but he's just, it wasn't a very succinct attempt. If Morgana binded, pooled, and walked up and started autoing, you were in jump range, you jump in right away, I'm on board with this. But the way, like, rhythmically, it makes no sense to me. Because when I saw you do it, I was like, ew. The other thing is, if you look, You're not, look at where you're standing right now. See how you started positioning back? Morgana steps forward from this position, right? If you wanted to be a part of this and immediately go in on it, you needed to be posturing forward at the same time. And guys, you know, people watching this would be like, oh, these little things, like, this actually matters? Yes. Yes. These little micro movements that you do in lane, they add up in a big way on whether or not you secure anything. If Morgana had binded, walked in, right, and started autoing, and you were already en route, so now you're in range of the jump, right, and you could chain it. I'm pretty sure if you hit the jump and did the damage, you would have won because Taric was only level 1. Because Jinx had leached some of the XP solo, so it wouldn't have been that bad. But because you position this little micro step back, which by the way makes no sense, because if you think about it, nothing was damaging you, so why did you feel the need to step back? These little micro movements add up. Take them very seriously. You should be right in auto range. Morgana steps forward, okay? And then you, at the same time, would step forward. And then that way, when she hits the bind, you can lead with an auto, jump in, do your thing. Maybe Morgana feels more comfortable following up. But the way you play it, it was very like, oh, we hit that bind? Let me come right over. And then you're like, what up, bitch? But Morgana's like, oh, we're actually in on this? You were way back there. I didn't think you were going to go in. See what I'm saying? That's why you lose that. And now you both did. Tark's still level 1. What the fuck? Did Tark flash? Look at this Tark flash. Dude, that's amazing. Bronze is the best. It's like not even close. Pretty sure if he didn't cancel an auto, he had it. Amazing. The other point that I want to make sure you understand is that you need to realize when lanes are pushing towards you, you are waiting for the enemy to make a mistake in most cases, okay? In this case, and it's rare, but it will happen, unfortunately, and it's something that I hate when I'm smurfing low elo too. I hate when the lane's pushing to me. I hate it. I hate it. Every time you see me play bot lane and low elo, you will never see me letting the, like, I will do everything in my power to fight in the first like 3 minutes to push level 2 and to win level 2. You will rarely see me play passive. So it's unfortunate that Jinx was already in lane pushing because that puts us on the back foot. So you need to understand that you need to pick your engages smarter than just being late to it, jump in, miss the damage, and then hope for the best. It would be one thing if the wave was pushing forward and then that bind came out and you jumped in the way that you did. You would have had minions backing you up and all sorts of things. But with the minions pushing to you, it gets kind of weird. You have to be very selective with your shots. A little confused. I think you were justified actually in jumping on this one. I know, see, the problem is when you die, people have a tendency to not recognize when a fight's good because they're kind of like, what is good now? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Dude, think about this spot. Jinx autoing you. You jump in, land, deal your damage, apply slow. Sometimes Taric might stun you. You can always dodge that if you need to, unless he reacts like a genius. But even if he stuns you, this trade is fine. You're never dying here, okay? As long as you don't, like, land on the chompers. But you land on her, you stay in, you do your damage, you force her out of lane, you're fine. You have minions, you have a bind, you have pool on this guy, and it's a very good spot. Absorb this spot. Take it in. Seriously, look at this. She's over the minion wave, bind hits, you're in jump range, Taric's way the fuck back. This would be a good spot to do what you were doing. Okay. So if you leash your jungle and that puts you behind your opponents getting to lane, do you still fight to get the level 2? Generally, I don't over leash. The only time that the enemy is going to have an advantage over you is if they do what this Jinx did, which was she was already in lane. Chomp will root if she jumps over them. Really? Either way, I would still get rooted there. I would still take the trade. But I didn't know that. Even with the root, the trade still goes our way, I'm pretty sure. But no, I didn't know that. It's an interaction that doesn't make much sense to me. Yeah, they just have the minions pushing here, and Morgana's kind of in a weak spot. The only way you're ever winning the 2v2 is if you hit Jinx like that earlier fight. That's fine. You're playing with fire a little bit, but it's okay for you to pressure a little bit. Yeah, it's very bizarre. Right now, this is pretty stable lane, nothing too exciting happening, and there's not much you can really do when you botch the early lane phase, which is why I always say the first 3 minutes of the game decides what type of lane it's going to be. Your little mistake really sucks in terms of us, like, dominating. Tristana, though, at the same time, is a pretty good late game champ. You get Tarek's ult, which is really good because he didn't use it to get any value out of it. Greg is coming in. Not bad. Any reason you don't flash for this kill? I think you should have probably flashed for this. Pretty sure that's you have enough damage there to do it. And if not, you can always just kind of heal out if it's messy, but pretty sure you had that. And then you can just jump reset out. Let me look at that again. Something went wrong. This looked fine. Auto, auto, auto. That's fine. I mean, I still think a flash auto kills him there. But it's okay. Definitely recovers the lane for us. We're gonna see what you build when you back. I don't know if I agree with that off the initial right away. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do anything other than Blade of the Rune King on Tristana. There's a couple other builds. Pretty much all cases everyone does Blade the Rune King though. Yeah. You're building a BF sword. I disagree with it, and I think you should be going Blade of the Rune King. Tristana benefits a lot from that. It's a very good item on her, and in general, it's just a better first item for her. I was thinking without tanks, it wasn't worth it with the recent nerfs. Could be wrong though. Your idea isn't, it's not necessarily just for the tanks that you're looking for with it. It's more of the fact that you can actually Like, you can control all-ins a lot better with Blade of the Rune King, and you can kind of self-peel yourself with it as well, which is a nice benefit. In general, it's just better for solo queue. Just put it that way. It's the best way I can frame it. Blade of the Rune King and Runons, that puts you in a pretty good spot, and then you can just scale up from there. Surprise Morgana hits a black... What in the fuck is this? This has gotta be clowny. This has gotta be clowny. How does she miss this fucking ult, this Jinx? And then Tart comes in. I mean, this is absolutely... Like, I knew it. I knew it was clowny. There was no way. That was just too... That was too preposterous. Is that Trin top? No. Doran's ring. That would be very bronze-esque. Okay, so you're building... I think you're building Runons. Notspencer, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Thank you. By the way, to be clear, your items are not why you are in bronze. I'm just saying. In general, I'm only giving you itemization impact or feedback on the itemization because I think that, like, it's just something to think about to improve your game. Like, it's not like you build BF sword and play, you know, and over Blade of the Rune King. I just think that Blade of the Rune King and better for Tristana is just a great item because you get that nice juicy self peel. She's one of my favorite ADCs in solo queue, and that she, especially on this server, she's underrated because she always seems to get to late game, and it's really fucking obnoxious if it's played right. The only problem that I've ever really had with her, in my experiences, is that she's always felt kind of clunky to me, and her jump is weird. But if you can pilot it, it's like very underrated ADC. Also, low elo, most players don't take advantage of your lane. Your lane's pretty weak. So you'll get a lot of value out of Tristana, and that most players won't take advantage of that. So I think she's a good champ. She's a great champ for this bracket for sure. A lot better than people picking fucking Vayne all the time. I will point out that right here in this spot, notice you don't have lifesteal. This would be a perfect example of a time where, like, if you had Blade of the Rune King, this wouldn't even have fucking been close. You wouldn't have to burn flash or anything. The lack of lifesteal is really hurting us here. At least a Vamp Scepter or something would have been really nice. Most ADCs, I think, at least, if they're going your build, I'm pretty sure... Yeah, they sneak in a Vamp Scepter. So, like, here would have been a decent time to put one in. Notice you go for Tabbies first. You should probably go Vamp Scepter first, because that'll round off your build. Because you've got Runons and then you're going damage. That would really help round everything off, I think, nicely. So, if you're not going to go Blade of the Rune King, you know what I mean? No, Blade of the Rune King's fine for ADCs. It's not obsolete at all. It's still a decent item. They're just... I mean, ADCs are like... Or... Last patch, ADCs were busted as fuck because of that item. Good. No, no way. No way! It's so sick. By the way, again, lifesteal probably keeps you alive there because you can auto the creeps. It is hard. It is. I really think it's impacting your fights a lot. I saw you have to burn flash here because you didn't have any lifesteal, and now you're getting no fucking regen back off of all your damage, which sucks. But I mean, mechanically, you probably could have primed up the ult better, but that Xin Zhao is super fed. No. Oh, you do get this. Nice. And you got red buff. Beautiful. Alright, so 2 people are dead. You have time to push. We can see Talon. That's all I care. Oh, let's turn on your fog of war so we can see here. We can see Talon, and we saw Teemo top. Keep cruising. I personally think you could probably shove that bot lane all the way in before rotating. This Xin Zhao is gonna click on us, and it's gonna fucking hurt. Good. Yeah, I don't think jumping in there would have been correct either. There's got to be something tragic that happens to us. Oh no, what have you done? What was this? This was lazy by you. Big mistake here. You path right over top of this shit. This was Tails from the bronze. I would rather you walk this way and meet the minions than do what this is and give away your heal. Your heal and flash are very valuable in this game because you're getting clicked on a lot. And, you know, generally I feel no one peels for champions like Talon and Xin Zhao, so you're pretty much, it's pretty much you versus the world. But you can't afford to be trading into this many minions and standing on the fucking chompers and taking all that damage. It was just very, very silly. Yes, Jinx flashes, but does she really need her flash versus your comp? Not really. Because, you already know which side has the edge. Tryndamere lost his tower. There, she just ends. I don't know what the fuck that is. Oh. The damn overlay. It's all fucked up every day. Every day it gets screwed up. Good. That's the jump in we like to see. Good. I mean, this is what we want, right? We want this, like, late game where everyone's just kind of diving and dying and we just get huge off of it. This is, I mean, this is like textbook Tristana too. This is how I feel when I smurf. Is like, you don't really do much in lane, and you kind of can't. It's very support dependent, or if you're pushing and the enemy team gets out of line. But like, you always get huge on this champion, and I think it's just as good as like a fucking Vayne, if not better. Okay, you don't have your jump. You have flash. Still don't have your jump. Comes up. I'm very scared of Xin Zhao. Very, very scared of Xin Zhao. That's what I'm scared of. So, let's talk about this. Your positioning needs to reflect that you're scared shitless of this guy. Why on earth do you jump this way, though? Now, notice how I called it out before he shows up. That's what you need to be thinking about as an ADC. You need to think about, like I was using the fucking police, you know, you robbed the bank and now you got to get out because the cops are looking for you. That's pretty much what happens, right? You pick up a bunch of kills. How can we die? And I'm already calling it out in my brain so you understand that I'm not just bullshitting you. I'm like, I'm scared of Xin Zhao in this spot. Your positioning needs to reflect that you've already planned ahead here. How can Xin Zhao get to us if we jump this wall? He can't. It's impossible for him to get to us if we jump this wall. It's also the lack of planning hurts you in a big way. You go in, you get the Talon. You don't auto jinx, don't know why. You could have auto jinx there and just fought. Xin Zhao shows up, you panic. Just like you would if you're playing Ezreal, anytime a champion like this comes at you, gap close over this wall. Plan the gap close out over a wall that's actually useful. Gap closing in lane doesn't do anything in this spot. And you're jumping over him, so it's essentially a half gap, and he hasn't even gap closed to you yet. By the way, you know, again, I don't think your itemizations lose you this game, but Blade of the Rune King here would be real nice to get this fucking clown off of us. But you die because you're not planning the fight out. You're not thinking about who can kill you. And I'm gonna credit you. I think that your teammates screw the pooch on this one, but you still had control of that team fight. You have total control of that team fight. You could jump out, walk down to bot lane, chill with JH Tard, dude. Gragas, 1 in 8 Gragas extraordinaire. Or you could just, you know, jump the wall and leave, walk it out. But you weren't planning, you weren't thinking about who could kill you. Unfortunately, you know, well, fortunately, at least in my opinion, it's only one person you have to worry about. The rest of your entire, everybody on the other team, you can literally just click on them and win. Bronze Gragas extraordinaire. Double chain vest Gragas extraordinaire. Killing it. Pissed because I got demoted. What happened here? I also don't care about getting demoted. That shit don't matter. What matters is getting better at the game. Riot's dumbass rankings are just pointless and stupid. They should just have an MMR system and that's it. I don't know if I'm ever jumping in on this guy like this. You need to save your jump. Notice you E on top of him here. You need to just auto him and save your jump so you can get the fuck out if you need to. But you don't get to reposition because of it. Yeah. There's good jumps and bad jumps. Good jump would be if, you know, let's just say Xin Zhao's level like 13 there. Your jump is not bad. It's just there you need to keep your jump so that you can reposition, because it's very likely that after he kills your teammate, he's going for you, right? So you don't want to overcommit in that spot when, you know, you can always reposition with your jump. And if the fight is ugly, it doesn't look like you're going to win, just bail and farm back up. You dying, though, means you lose the tower, and then I think it's GG. So, I'm pulling up your op.gg. This wasn't that bad, my friend. It really wasn't. I think there's little things you could do better. Why can't I look you up? Is there any reason? Oh, it's EOS, that's right. Whoa, dude, thank you so much for the big dick sub. Appreciate it, you're the man. That's a very generous subscription. Thank you very much. Shop sub hype train for that guy, please. I'm gonna pull up your op.gg, dude. Mr. Carnage. All right. We're going to do some analysis here. You are riding the struggle bus. Have you improved? How long have you been playing? Is this your first season? It's nothing to be ashamed of. If it's your first season, dude, it's completely standard. Like, a lot of people start off in bronze, especially if it's like your first game. First MOBA. Struggle bus. Struggle bus op.gg. Yep, only started at Christmas. Awesome. Well, welcome. You will get flamed a lot for having a negative win rate in bronze, but that's kind of how you learn. Based on this replay, what I'll tell you, well, you obviously you're a sub, so you can go back through and watch the VOD. But I would just stick. Right now, your champ pool is too wide. Okay, if you're gonna be playing multiple champions, do it in normals, and spam a champ. See how your champ pool looks really scattered for the most part? Looks like you spent quite a bit of time on Tristana recently, but generally what I would say to newbies is don't deviate off of a champ until you're dominating with it. The good news is your skill growth as a new player is going to be like exponential if you have it in you to like analyze and assess, which it seems like you do because you're getting coaching, right? But basically what happens is newbies do this thing where they play a bunch of fucking champs and they never get good at, they never get standout, and getting standout or getting exceptional at a champion is actually really hard because you got to spam the same champion over and over again. Like even when you're bored of it, you spam it and you get good. Mechanically, like your muscle memory and all that stuff, your mechanics are going to get really fucking good at that one champ. The rest of the stuff will suffer, but you need to build a champ pool. Best way to build a champ pool is to just stick on the Tristana, spam the fuck out of it, focus on what I went over in the coaching, you know, keep your E up and think about it before you waste it, okay? And really try to analyze like what happens if I jump in here. Does this look right? Does this make sense to me? Base it off of minions, base it off of levels. I talk all the time on the stream about like, oh, are you higher level than this guy? Then you have the edge in most cases. The only way you're going to know whether or not your judgment is good is if you spam a champ. If you keep deviating off of champions, you're never going to get good at anything. When I started, this is no bullshit, when I started, before I deployed, I spammed Nidalee and fucking the old Twisted Tree line. I spammed Nidalee. Dude, I'm talking like 40 fucking games. Before I deployed, I came back, I grinded the ladder, and eventually made fucking diamond. Like, I ended my first season, I ended pretty high up in diamond. First season ever. But I was not good at the game, necessarily, in my opinion. I was shit at the game. But I was very, very good at, like, Nidalee, TF, and, like, you know, fucking Pantheon was pretty much it. But that's fine. That's fine. That's the only way you're going to learn how to actually, like, exist in a game. Okay? So stop deviating so much. Stick to the Tristana. Play it until you're crushing. And by crushing, I mean you keep your devs fucking super low. You always beat yourself up mentally when it's like these, right? You have these games here. These are the games I want to see. I want to see the low def games. When you're a newbie, your def should always be low. You should always be, every time you die, you should be like, fuck, what could I have done to avoid that? What, you know, my summoners were down. Maybe I should have repositioned back a little safer. I should have expected this guy was going to do this and I could have dodged it. You're new, so it's no rush. But that's what you should emphasize, okay? So this is not bad. This is very, very good start, solid start on a new player, in my opinion. And I like that you're actually playing ranked. A lot of newbies don't play ranked. You will suck for a while. But if you stay on your champ pool, you focus on keeping your defs low, and obviously going over the VODs and some of the other coaching I do for ADCs, you'll start to piece together your own identity on how the game should be played, and then you'll climb very fast. And you will. Trust me. I know it sucks now being a newbie, but it's kind of the fun part because you're like I said, the exponential growth is like ridiculous. All right. I hope you enjoyed it. YouTube, if this shows up on the channel, thank you very much. You're all amazing, amazing people. Please like, subscribe, etc. And I'm out. Peace. Cracks. Thanks. Bloop. Cool. Sorry, I left the slate up a little long because I